All right, we are joined here by James Blackburn of Reidsville, North Carolina, our 2024 U.S. Amateur Champion. James, welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, James? Good to see you again, man.
How you doing, Jason? Good to see you too, buddy.
I'm good. Hey, listen, I know we talked right after you won the championship, but it's been a few weeks now. You've had a little time to reflect. Obviously, you've gone back home and kind of, I'm sure have talked to family and friends. What's been the kind of that reception when you got back to North Carolina?
Oh man, it's very surreal. Everybody's very happy for me, and a lot of people were saying it's about time. I didn't necessarily want to hear that, but I mean, I guess they're right. I've been trying for this my whole pool playing career, and I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah, now that you've had a little time to reflect on the victory, what kind of comes to mind? What kind of emotions? What kind of thoughts? I mean, you said it's about time. Like, is this something that you have strived for a long time? That kind of thing?
Absolutely, man. I started playing APA whenever I was 18 years old. Me and my buddies, and we all had that dream. We all wanted the U.S. Amateur, National Singles, something like that. I've never given up trying for this. I never thought it would happen here recently, but I mean, it finally happened. It's still kind of surreal just thinking about it. Like you see it, you watch the videos, but then when you sit there and say I am the champ, it's weird to say.
I bet.
So, James, I want to take it back to the beginning. So how did you actually start playing pool? How did you first get involved in playing pool?
I started in high school. I didn't really know anything about it, and buddies of mine, they used to do bad stuff and skip school and go play, and I went with them, and they used to beat me and make fun of me all the time, and I used that as motivation to keep practicing, and it actually kept me out of trouble, ironically. Like, instead of doing the stuff they were doing, I just started playing pool every day, and I just got better and better, and then I could talk crap to them.
Nice. So was there somebody in particular who got you started playing pool, or did it just kind of, you just kind of got out there and started and stuck with it?
It started, like I said, my friends in school, nobody in particular, but then my dad, through a job of his, met a guy that ran a local pool league, and I met that guy with the local pool league, and then from there I heard about APA, and I started playing with a good friend of mine, Jared Ware. Me and him started playing APA at the same time. We actually have the player number that's one number off of each other. It's kind of crazy. We've been friends for over 20 years now, and like I said, that kind of got me started with APA, and I've been playing APA ever since.
Nice. So tell us about your journey in making it to eventually the U.S. Amateur Championship.
I've tried almost every year. I've never had a lot of luck in the qualifiers. I always make it to the finals, but as I said in my post-match interview, North Carolina is such a hotbed of pool. There's so many good players in those qualifiers. I think I've won 2 qualifiers out of the 10 I played in, and I made the finals of every one. That's how tough it is to get out of North Carolina. And this year, in my qualifier, I played in Raleigh, and my very first round, I played a friend of mine, Corey Sykes. He's finished 5th in the finals the last 2 years, and I was able to squeak out a 7-6 win versus him, and getting that win, I knew I had a chance to qualify this year. And anything after that was just a breeze. There was no pressure after beating him, because me and him were the pre-tournament favorites in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm curious, James. I mean, you said 10 times you've played in preliminary rounds. What's the motivation for a guy like you to play in an event like the U.S. Amateur Championship? One of the things that always surprises people that aren't like in the know on the USAM is like, oh, there's no prize money. Why would you do it? So I'm curious. 10 times, you've been successful twice. Obviously, you went all the way this year. But what's the motivation for a guy like you to want to play in the U.S. Amateur Championship? What is it about that particular event?
When I started playing pool, like I said, I never did it for the money, and to this day, I still play for the love of the game. I mean, you're going to spend money, but really the reason I play this tournament is for that trophy. I mean, that trophy and getting my name on the Larry Hubbard Trophy means everything to me. I mean, that's what I've worked for. I don't know if immortality is the right word, but I mean, it's always going to be there no matter what. Like I said, no matter what I do in pool now, I mean, I'm one of the few people. I mean, people I've looked up to since I started, like, I mean, Brian Parks, my very first trip to Vegas, I met him, and he's always been a good friend of mine since then. And I've wanted to try to repeat what he did, and to finally get there, he actually told me welcome to the club after I won. That meant a lot to me.
Nice. That's very
cool.
Very cool. So now that you've had some time to get back home, I'm curious, the match obviously live streamed. Have you gone back and watched the match? If so, like what did you take away from having watched yourself? Did you learn anything? Are there things you would have done different? I mean, I guess have you watched it at all?
Actually, I did. I mean, as you know, as long as it was, I took about a whole day to watch it. It really just, like I said in the post-match interview, I just really had to play my game. And the very beginning of that match, I was playing Brandon style, and Brandon is very precise and very methodical, and I let that get in my head. I'm generally a faster player, and that's whenever we got to the 9-ball, I kind of picked up my pace a little bit, and that helped me swing it back in my favor. Like I said, the nerves were unbelievable. I mean, it was just getting through the nerves was the biggest thing. Knowing I wasn't playing my best, but still grinding through and getting the result I wanted meant everything.
Yeah. What do you think it'll be like next year when you got to go back and defend the title, and you're kind of the guy when you walk in the room? I mean, everybody's well aware that you're the defending champ, and you kind of have that target on your back. What do you anticipate that'll be like for you? Is that kind of a new role for you to have to play?
It is, and it's not. Like in my area, I'm generally one of the more respected players. But I mean, as soon as I got back, the league matches I've played, everybody's bringing their A game. So I imagine it's going to be the same next year. I'm going to have to play even better. This whole tournament, I never really found my A game, but every match I just kind of was consistent, very steady. That was my MO the whole tournament. So I think next year, though, I'm going to have to find my A game a couple matches, or I'm not going to make it through.
What would you tell to aspiring pool players who are maybe looking to get involved?
The biggest thing is take it for what it is. I mean, it is a game, but it's also a game that we all love. You got to make sure you're having fun with it, no matter what your goals are. If you're just going to play league and have a good time, or if you want to win the U.S. Amateur Championship, or if you want to win the U.S. Open. You want to start the right way, build your foundation and your fundamentals up the correct way. That way you don't create bad habits. That's actually one thing I did starting out. Like, I learned a lot of bad habits, and then I learned about teaching. I've taken a bunch of lessons myself and rebuilt my fundamentals, and that helped a lot. And that's what I relied on, especially that last rack. You got to rely on the fundamentals to get you through a lot of times.
Yeah, now that you've secured the U.S. Amateur Championship title, what are your next goals within the game of pool? I mean, what's next for you? What's the next thing you'd like to accomplish?
I've always wanted to be a part of I like to call it the Triple Crown of the APA players. Like I said, I mean, I don't have as many aspirations to be a pro player as I used to, but I mean, I do want to finish accomplishing my goals in APA. I got the U.S. Amateur. I want to get a national singles title, and then I'd like to get a Masters title. Those are the big three things that I want to get. And like I said, I would like to be like Brian Parks and Nesta Bio, all those guys who've won those three titles. I feel like I should be up there with them, and I guess I'm a third of the way there now.
Well, you can check one big one off the list now.
Absolutely. So. Well, we hope to see you out in Vegas next year.
Yeah, I'm already there for 9-ball, so hopefully
nice.
we'll get that going. This is one, honestly, if you don't mind, this is one I never thought I would get. Back in 2018, I got diagnosed with wet MD in my right eye, and I was always right eye dominant. So I had to change my stance up to become left eye dominant, have a little more snooker stance, because I don't have any center vision in my right eye anymore. So I really had to do a lot of work to get my game back where it was, and I didn't think I would be there on big tables anymore. So this was kind of a shock to me as well.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
It's funny. My my doctor, after he heard, he couldn't believe it. He invited me over to his house to play a couple of his buddies to come over there as the ringer.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you joining us, James. Wish you a happy holiday, and I don't think you got to wish for anything bigger from Santa. You got that big trophy now, so Put that right under the tree. How's that?
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
All right, James. We'll plan to see you again in the spring out in Vegas and see if you can continue to get that trifecta that you mentioned.
Sounds good. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right, take
James.
care.